Hello friends, Pastor Josh here, and this is the final weekly update video for Redeeming Grace Church in 2021, and it's really been an amazing year when you think about it. We had our first baptisms ever. We had 3 this year, and the first ever in the life of our church, and what a great and glorious thing that was. We had a number of members join our church and their families, which was really sweet. We had some other members move on from us and are serving in other churches and in other places, and we've made it halfway through the book of Genesis. We've done a Kingdom Parables series together. We've gone through a bunch of scripture and training on the Sunday morning growth classes at 9:15. We've had home groups that are really thriving. We've grown them and multiplied them and split them up and rearranged them, and they're doing great. Those home groups are providing great fellowship and encouragement to each other. We've also done more than 50 furniture deliveries, and so that's people that we've made contact with and some who have begun to be connected to our church in various ways. We've done several neighborhood breakfasts, we've done service projects, and so it's been an amazing year, and I'm really grateful that you've been a part of it. And we've had a record amount of giving. We exceeded our budget by over $100,000, and that is going to launch us into a lot of creative ministry and opportunities that are available in 2022. So praise God for his grace in this year, and I'm grateful for the things that are coming in 2022. This past Sunday, we had a brunch together in a short devotional for church. And one of the things we did is took some time to just share ways that we're grateful for God's grace in the last year. And that has been recorded. It's on podcast, it's on our website, it's also on YouTube. And so if you didn't get a chance to attend with us and be a part of that sharing of God's grace in the past year, I would encourage you to check it out and just rejoice and continue to just think about the things that God has done for us as we consider the end of this year. What's also amazing is that this coming Sunday is our second birthday. We started the first Sunday of 2020, and now the first Sunday in 2022 is this Sunday, and it'll be our second birthday. And that's really pretty amazing considering the last couple of years that we are where we are, that God has done what he has done in us, and that we're a happy, healthy local church that is moving in a good direction. And I'm just so grateful for each one of you that's a part of it. And let's make this coming Sunday a real celebration as we jump back into the book of Genesis and continue to proceed through the book for the rest of the spring. This coming Sunday, no 9:15 growth classes. Everything is pretty quiet this week and next week. We've got a lot of people out of town, and then my life is getting crazy as we just brought home our adopted daughter last week, and then we're expecting a baby literally any day, and so things are going to be a little bit quiet on the things that I am generating in terms of life of the church. So I'm still working. I'm doing a lot of planning. I got a lot of things that are going on that are going to be launching in 2022, but for the next couple weeks it'll be pretty quiet. In fact, the big Sunday will be January 9th. What we'll have is our 9:15 classes will be back. I'm going to lead a class with Vanessa Kaiser called Helping Without Hurting, which is a training class for us to know how to engage poverty and in a healthy way, and to get a good biblical theological definition of poverty, and then to know how to respond to that rightly, to recognize the poverty, the different ways that we're impoverished ourselves, and then also the humble ways and helpful ways that we can engage poverty in our community. So I would encourage you to come and be a part of that. That's for teens and adults. We've got middle school class, we've got an elementary school class, we've got preschool on down that'll be studying through the scriptures. So it's really a big deal to come at 9:15. And the more of us that are there together, going through this training, having these conversations together, the more we'll be able to move the ball forward in terms of ministry in the life of our church. So I would really encourage you. I know getting up early on Sunday is tough. I know getting the kids there is tough, but it's really going to be worth it. I promise it'll be valuable. And the more of a critical mass that we have at those times, the better and faster and more effective our ministry will be together. And then the church isn't going, as the church moves ahead, it's not leaving you behind, because we're going to be having conversations and we're going to be moving things forward in terms of our mission. And we'd love to have your input. We'd love to have your skill set. We'd love to have your investment in that. And it gets tough to move forward when you've got so many people who are not part of those conversations. You're kind of pulling them along in ways that, just all that to say, really consider on the 9th, committing on the Lord's Day to give a little bit more of the Lord's Day to Him and to the church, so that we can be more effective in our ministry together. So that's my plug for January 9th, that first Sunday of the 9:15 growth classes before church. Also, on the 9th, we're going to have our Next Steps lunch after church. For those of you that are newer to our church, maybe you've come a few times, you're liking the church, you want to know more, we would love to provide lunch for you after church on the 9th. And then I'll just share a little bit more about the life of our church, about my personal testimony, and then invite you to consider jumping in on the Discover RGC seminars, which just tells you a little bit more about our doctrine, our code of conduct, our covenant, what it means to be a part of it, why we do what we do, how we do what we do. We really want to get all of those cards on the table, and we would love for you to formally join. We think that the most effective things happen when there's commitment. You think of that in marriage, you think of that in the military, you think of that on a sports team, is that without commitment and a shared code of conduct, a shared commitment and goal and clarity, no organization works, no team works. And that's true in the local church too. That's just Bible, actually, is that we should covenant together and commit to doing that together. So if you're feeling drawn to the church, we would love to just introduce you to that, and then encourage you to find out as much information. We're an open book. We'll put all of our cards on the table, and then you can decide whether or not you want to formally join into the life of this church. So the Next Steps lunch is a step. That's why we call it Next Step. Beyond just attending, into getting more invested in the life of the church. Some other cool things that are coming in 2022 is that we're going to have a college age ministry actually starting on Thursday. I think it's January 13th, whatever that Thursday is. We've got a team put together, and we've already got some prospects of students that are going to come. And I'm really excited about that. That's going to happen here on Thursday nights. Starting January 13th, and it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about the team that we have put together, and be praying for that, because it's really, I think there's some real opportunity there. And one of the things that I was dreaming about in the life of our church is that we would be, because we're close to the college, we would have a vibrant college ministry. Another thing that I am also thinking about and scheming towards, and beginning to recruit a few of you to consider being part of a team that does like a Tuesday night dinner, just for the months of February and March, maybe a little bit into April, just 10 weeks, where there's like a dinner that's here, providing meals for those that maybe struggle or could use or would appreciate a meal together, and then a real intro to Christianity, and then some small groups, some prayer, kind of some counseling and support kind of things. Similar to like what Life Inc. does for the Ministry of Love Inc., their Life Inc. classes that kind of train and equip people and give them ways to get their needs met. We have a number of people that we're already ministering to in our community that I think would appreciate a free meal, and would also love to get an introduction to Christianity in a way that's maybe a little less intimidating than a Sunday morning. I've got some good material that I'm assembling together, and I think it'll be really effective. And so it would be great to just have 25 people here that are just from the neighborhood, that would just appreciate a warm place to eat a meal, to hear a little bit about Christian theology, about the gospel, and then have some people pray and support them. Maybe there's even like a little food bank or something, but just a way to try to engage both physical and spiritual needs in our own neighborhood. And Love Inc. has already come up with the idea of a Life Inc. kind of thing. Well, I'd like to just go ahead and do our own version of that here, and I think that would be really cool. So that's coming in February or March. And right now it's just an idea, but that's something I'm moving towards. And one of the things that we've been doing, because there is some additional ministry that's going to be happening here at the ministry center, is that this has been in the works for a while, but we changed out the fluorescent lights. They're all kind of stacked up over here right now. I got to get rid of them. But we've put in these can lights just to make this place a lot more enjoyable. It's just way nicer in here. I don't know if you can tell from the video. We still have several to go. Like this one is going to be a beast. It's a lot of work. There's some weird stuff going on there and down the hall. But we're continuing to work to make this place useful for ministry and just an easier place to worship, to pray, to do discipleship and outreach. Some other ideas I have is down on this end. The end room, I'd like to make that very kid-friendly, to essentially make that like a nursery and toddler area. That's our biggest office room, and so I think it would really work well there. But that would be nice if we were able to provide some sort of basic childcare down there. And so I'm going to be looking for some help. If you like doing physical projects like that, would like to invest financially in helping us get that room really well, I'll walk down there so you can kind of see it. It's just got stuff in it right now. But we'd love to just make this a very useful kind of kids childcare space so that we can do more things that help moms out. And then this is like a little storage room in here. And I'd like to rework this room a little bit and make this more like a recording studio. I think we can do that pretty inexpensively. But some of the things that I'm going to be doing because of my involvement with the TPA, we do a lot of classes online via Zoom, and having a nice permanent setup for that would be really good. Also, one thing I'm going to do on these update videos is have less of me just talking at you like I am right now with announcements, and more like interviewing some missionaries like the Kellys. I'm going to record with him next week and put that in here. I'm also going to do an interview with Gary and Joanne and just talk about the ministry that they're doing in Big Timber, and just other things that are going on. Also, my work with the association and the convention at the denominational level also kind of lends itself to some more online video and interviews, podcasts, that kind of stuff. So there's some projects that are going to be happening in 2022 in here, and we're trying to find an affordable way to do that, but to make the use of this space, it's just sitting empty a lot of the time, to make it more useful for ministry and then to actually go for it. So those are just a handful of things. I've got other ideas and things that are coming as well. But just to give you kind of whet your appetite a little bit of some things that are being generated in 2022, and would love to have you be a part of it. If you like physical kind of project-based ministry, we've got work here to make this place more useful for ministry. Also, if you like cooking and helping these Tuesday nights and maybe this college group, there's probably going to be a need for food there. If you like to teach or counsel, this Tuesday night kind of Life Inc. style thing is going to be really helpful. If you want to grow in terms of your own ministry skill set, the 915 growth classes, if you need to be part of a fellowship, then we've got home groups that are a big part of that. If you want to know what it looks like to actually officially join our church, then we've got Discover RGC and the Next Steps lunch. We've got furniture deliveries that are going to continue to happen twice a month. We've got our quarterly breakfast that's happening. And there's other things going on too. There's other ideas that are being generated, but that's just a few things that are coming in 2022. I'm really excited about all of them, and would love to have you all invested in jumping in on some of these things that are going on. I love that we have a big blank canvas by which we can paint on and come up with creative ideas and do cool things together. And so thank you for an awesome 2021. Thank you for the ways that you've given in 2022 that allow us to pursue the possibility of adding staff, to be able to expand our ministries, to be able to do cool things. And just look forward to the ways that we're going to move together and see more people impacted by the gospel through the life of Redeeming Grace Church, and also be impacted ourselves. So if there are any of those things that sound interesting to you that you'd like to get involved in, then shoot me a text or an email or whatever. And let's continue to just, spend our talents, the talents that God has given us, to invest in the kingdom so that we will hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant," on that day when we give an account for our lives on that last day. So that's enough. I've rambled too long. I need to get home to my family, but I hope you have a great week. I love you. Thank you for a great year. Looking forward to a good 2022. And we'll see you on our birthday on January 2nd.